Welcome to another Spotlight Photographics and Photo Solutions Market new template tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about the new film strip series. This is a limited edition series, which means that this is an open set, which pretty much means that it's going to have designs added to it frequently. So this will not be available as a full collection like you would see in the Game Day series. On our website, if you ever see anything in a limited edition, that's what that means. So they will not be available as a full collection. So if you're waiting to hold out to get the whole set, and if it's a limited edition template, you're waiting for nothing pretty much, because these will always be open and only available as single templates. So moving forward, I would like to mention that this design in this series came about because of some customer requests. So we do listen to you. If you are looking for something different and you have an idea of something like this, for example, somebody wanted something with the multiple pictures coming down the side. That was just a simple drag and drop. So that means there's no extraction involved. So this makes it pretty quick to do. You don't have to take a lot of time. You don't have to send things off to be extracted. These can actually be used on location. They can be manipulated to go into programs like Darkroom or stuff like that. But they're still going to have the most customizable features if you use them in Photoshop, obviously. But they're not readily available to be just dragged and dropped into Express Digital and work the way they are right out the box. But you can do some changes to them and make them work. But today we're just going to be talking about the Photoshop functions. So the first design that you see is this grunge design, and this is the very first one. And if you're looking at this, pretty new, this is probably the only one that you see. But like I said, we'll be adding more as we get to designing more designs for this series. So to get started here, we're just going to show you how these work. And this is pretty much going to be the way they're going to work all the way across the board. So any new ones that come out, you're going to see the same thing. So we have a vertical and we have a horizontal, and you also see we have the film strip down the side. Now when this first was designed, of course this has 8 spots in it, and I was suggested to put some with less. So what we have going into this first one here, and it's going to be the same on both templates, so I'm probably just going to use this first one for the example, but you can see we also have the horizontal, but they're going to work exactly the same. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about the film strip. Now, like I said, there's 8 film strip spots here, which means you can drag and drop 8 different photos into this template. And if you look over on the layer palette, you're going to see 2 different groups. The first one is the 8 image film strip, which is the one that you see here. And then we also have another one. If we turn this off and then turn on the 5 image strip, you have now one with just 5. So you have either 5 or 6, or 5 or 8. You can always come in here and edit this manually by just selecting, just using a selection tool and maybe cutting off a film strip spot if you want to lower this down. But just for the sense of time, we found that 6 total images, that's including the big one, or 9 total images, pretty much took care of the needs of the people who were looking for this. But like I said, you can always change it. So for this demo, we're going to go with the 8. So I can show you that one. So we're going to go ahead and expand this group by clicking on this arrow here. And that's going to show all of the different photo spots. Now, when you look at this, you see everything's labeled photo 1, photo 2, photo 3, and that's counting from the top down. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you'll see that we've used just a simple image clipping mask into the photo spot below. So if we go ahead and turn off number 1's photo, you'll see that it's gray. And this gray box is actually this photo 1 image mask here. So if we want to replace that image, all we have to do is go ahead and remove the image that's above it, and then we can drag and drop an image in. Now, all I did is I have a separate window open to the right that you can't see, but I'm just grabbing that image and dragging and dropping it directly into Photoshop. Now this will not work this way if you are using anything lower than Photoshop CS5. CS4 will open this image into another window, and then you'll have to drag it over onto the template. You can always come up to File and hit Place and select your file manually through the browser, which will also drop it directly into the template. If you're on something lower than 5. You can also use that, CS5 or above as well, the place feature. But for this, it's very easy. Just drag and drop it into this template, and we're going to go ahead and apply it before we resize this. Okay. Now all we have to do at this point is mask this into photo 1. There's a couple ways we can do this. The quickest way is holding down the Alt key and moving your mouse in between the two layers that you want to mask into each other. And you can see that right now we have the hand, but if we hold down Alt and we scroll in between, it changes over to this square with a drop down. And what that's saying is I'm going to mask that image into the one below. And if we simply click at this point, it's now masked it. Now of course you can't see anything but what's in that corner because it's still really big. So at this point we're going to do a free transform, which on a PC is Control-T. And then by holding the Shift key, we grab the bottom and we just drag up. This keeps it in proportion. If you don't hold the Shift key, it's going to make the image all weird. And I'll show you what I mean here. I'm going to go ahead and drag that back out. And if you're not holding the Shift key, it allows you to do this, which can make you stretch the image so that it's not in proportion. But even if you didn't hit the Shift key right away, and I'll show you here, if you hit it now, it's going to go ahead and put it back into proportion and hold it down. So we're just going to go ahead and drag that into the spot and go ahead and apply that by clicking the checkbox. Now we can go to the next one, which is photo 2. And we'll go ahead and drag and drop another one into the template. Go ahead and apply that, and then we will do the same thing. Now this one, here's the other way you can do this. You can right click in this area over here. Don't right click on the actual image here or the name. Right click over here outside of it on that same layer and say create clipping mask, and that's going to go ahead and drop it down as well. So another free transform, and we will go ahead and put that in and apply it. And I will go up to just continue this process through the different images and mask it in, do a free transform, and drag it in. And we'll do the same thing. So we're on photo 4, so we're going to go ahead and delete this and drag in photo 4. Apply it. Now you have to apply it first because you won't be able to do the masking if you haven't applied the image after you've dropped it, which is why it's important to go ahead and do that. So go ahead and fit this one in here, and we'll do the next one, photo 5. Go ahead and remove that image. We'll go ahead and drag and drop this one in here. Mask that one in and size it down. Now of course I'm taking a little bit longer to do this than normal because I am talking you through this, but you can see that it's a very quick process to go ahead and drag and drop images in to the template. And once we get to this stage, you can always rotate the image so that it looks like it's turning with the template. We'll go ahead and take this one away. Put one more. Mask that in. Turn it. And we'll do the last image here. Alright, now we have to do the main image here in the middle. So we're going to do the same thing. You can see it's masked into this grunge border here. So we're going ahead and delete that image, and we will bring in an image for that. Then the same thing, we're going to mask it into the image below it like it was originally. and then we can go ahead and size it accordingly to what we want. Now we just need to do the color changes and the text changes for this template. So we're going to come down to the background. The background is a simple paint bucket color. So all we have to do is come over here to our paint bucket, go ahead and select the color that we want. We're going to use orange for these guys. And just while that background is selected, we just simply paint bucket. And you can always adjust that color if you want. And because we do have something above it, and I'm going to show you this because some colors feature differently, and it's because of your texture layer here. So right now it's set up on a blending mode of multiply. If for some reason your color doesn't look correct, all you have to do is come to this layer, and we're just going to select different ones. And there's a quick way to do this. You can just come up here to normal. Obviously that's going to be nothing. And then once you've got that selected, you can just use your down arrow on your keyboard to go ahead and scroll through the different blending modes for that texture to get a different look for possibly the color that you've selected. So there's a good orange right there. We'll go ahead and leave it on that one. And now we can work with the text. The main last name and the number here are going to have the exact same features, and as if we look over here on the last name, we have a gradient overlay. And that's what's making this gradient effect here. So to change that, we just simply double click on gradient overlay. That's going to bring up our layer style with our gradient here. Click on this, and then you can simply select your orange color that we used earlier and hit OK, OK, and OK, and now we have it out and we have our orange there. Now you can always change the gradient on any of the colors by going back into it and maybe changing this. If you wanted it to be maybe this darker orange color to this darker orange color again, and now we have this look. So now it looks pretty cool. To change this one, once you've changed this is using the exact same style. So what we can do is come to our last name, and we can right click on it and say copy layer style. And then we simply come to the number 27, which is our jersey number, and we just say paste layer style by right clicking and then say paste layer style, and now it's exactly the same. That way you don't have to change those features again. Now the other color change we have is our hue and saturation for our light rays here. So to change this, it's a adjustment layer. We simply double click right here, and now we have a hue bar that we can move around to change the color. So you can change that to really be any color you want that's located on that bar. So we're going to just kind of move it to maybe a little bit of an orangish color. And we notice we have a setting now of 12 and 86 and 0. So we just go over to the next one, double click on it, and we can put those same settings. So 12, 86, 0, and we can put 12 here and 86, 0, and now it's changed the other one to be that same orange. Now to change text, it's simple as using your text tool, highlighting a name, and typing. You can see that the font stays with that, and then we can also just highlight the first name, and then we can move that around. Now if you have a really long name, all you have to do is go ahead and do a free transform like we did with editing the photos, and then you can stretch that name as long as you want or as short as you want. And the same thing goes with the text at the top and the jersey number at the bottom. We just simply use our text tool, and we'll go ahead and change his jersey number, and we will go ahead and change this and type our team name. And we can do a Control-T, free transform, stretch that name out, and you're ready to go to print. Now one other cool thing that you can do is the film strip itself. If we come down to that, it's right down here at the bottom, you'll notice that we have it set up as a shape. So if we just double click on the shape color, we could always change this to be orange as well, if you'd want. Or you can change it to be any color you really want. So if you want it to be a white film strip, there's a white film strip for you. Pretty cool. So that's pretty much it for the film strip series. You can do a lot of different things with this. Everything's in layers. You can move everything around. If you wanted to do anything special, you could always even do something like this, where you can grab your main image. We can go ahead and shrink this down, and you could even do a couple images back here by just duplicating this box. And then we just duplicate it, and now you can do multiple photos. So because it's not actually a hole cut out, you really have the whole canvas to work with to make what you want with this. And you got that film strip, you've got the dual film strips that you have with 2 different numbers in them of image holes. But that's pretty much it for the film strip series. Like I said, more designs will be coming soon, so look for them on Photo Solutions Market from Spotlight Photographics in the limited edition series film strip. Thanks again. Until next time, I'm Sean DeMint with Photo Solutions Market and Spotlight Photographics. Have a great day.